you most about that last game?
Losing. Sorry, that's a silly, pretty simple answer, isn't it? But I think our lack of composure at times was pretty alarming for us, and our willingness just to continually do the right thing, you know, over and over and over again, because games are made up of little moments, little seconds, little minutes, you know, and we just didn't make them. We just didn't work in the right way and often enough during that game, and we come up short just by a little bit at the end of the day. But that's why we have to play 4 quarters.
But that's what's made you so good for most of the season, you know, until last week and this week. Is there any reason just a change in that, or is it just sort of, you know, tiredness, pressure?
No, I don't think. I think it's pressure. I mean, Essendon really tackled us hard tonight, and they were really good in tight early when they needed to be. Both sides found the conditions pretty trying, which we know they were pretty trying out there. But you know, I think it's just an evenness of the competition. That's what it's like. That's the arm wrestle. There's lots of things that go in your favour if you want to look at numbers and carry on about numbers. But at the end of the day, the only one that counts is the scoreboard, and we didn't do enough good things often enough tonight.
Can you talk about the conditions? How much is the question that's going to be posed about Port Adelaide's ability to handle the wet?
Yeah, well, not much. I don't think it's a big issue. No issue to me, to be honest. I mean, Essendon won the game, and rightly so. But we could have easily won the game of football if we had finished off some of our work, which we didn't do.
Why can't you run? Why do you think you can't get the run that you had earlier in the year?
Well, I'm not sure we can't. I thought it was there in the last quarter again. I thought we were running pretty strong again in the last quarter. We were finishing the game off really strong, and you know that's just the way. Look, sides, there's no doubt, sides try to restrict, but we try to restrict Essendon's ball movement too, and we did that reasonably well throughout most of the night. But the conditions again help you do that. So the conditions make it a little harder sometimes to play, but there's a mindset that's the most important part about that. And if you go away from the mindset that that's the way you want to play, you can end up looking like you're trying to do it a bit different, or the conditions are forcing you to do it different. It's not the conditions. It's a mindset to want to keep going.
So what's changed in their mindset from the time that you've had with them? What are they saying to you?
Oh no, I think they're acknowledging that they're still making little mistakes at the wrong time in games. They're looking uncertain sometimes in games, which is, you know, that's the first signal that your mindset's changed. If you look a little uncertain, it's because your mind's uncertain first.
Do you find it more difficult to isolate forwards?
Oh no, I don't. I don't know. Is probably the. I haven't seen it to be a problem from my point of view. I think we looked dangerous enough a few times tonight, and yes, I go again that in what those conditions were. It's always going to be pretty hard to get too much clean ball. Both sides would have found that, but so it's probably an unfair decision tonight to say we couldn't isolate forwards. I think we still okay to get shots on goal, but we just didn't kick them straight. I think that's what pressure does, and that's a credit to us, and that's what the pressure does to you. Pressure, you know, yes, it was trying conditions, and yes, we did overuse it at times. I'm sure we probably got them to overuse it a few times too, but I think it's their pressure that forces you to overuse the ball. No side deliberately chooses to overuse the ball in tight. I think it's a transfer of pressure. You take the pressure. I don't like the pressure. You give the pressure to someone else, and then it just becomes a bit continuous. So I think that's reflective in most games of footy, though. I think you'll see that in most games of football. But it's when one side's on top really good with pressure, they force you to do that a little bit.
Has your work rate dropped off a little bit?
No, I think it's been okay. Just to be fair, I think as I said, we worked really hard to the end of the game again tonight. We're right in the game right to the end. Look, again, we're really disappointed about losing. We shouldn't have lost the game tonight. Well, Essendon probably would say they shouldn't have either. So, but we just didn't do enough things right long enough, and you know our run hasn't dropped off. We've lost our 4 games by tiny margins, but you know that's what this game's about. Tiny. Imagine if we had won those 3 tiny margins games. You know, I've heard coaches sit up here and say we lost close games. Well, it doesn't count whether you lost close games. It's winning close games that counts. And for us, we have to make sure we turn wins. We've got to get wins, because if we could have won those 3 games, it would look pretty good. But we didn't. And it's a footy season. The whole season it takes losses. It takes close losses, close wins sometimes to make up your season. Unfortunately for us, right now we've had 3 really close losses. One a little bit further out than it should have been.
Training load's been ramped up a little bit in the lead up to finals and stuff.
No, everyone likes to ask that question a bit, I reckon. Are you in a heavy training block? Are you training heavier? Are you doing this? Or are you doing that different? We're absolutely doing nothing that much different than we are. We're reviewing hard. We're training hard. We're working hard to get better every day. We turn up each week and try to improve each week as a football team and football coaches and a football club. There's no doubt about that.
In a game where there are those heaps of those little moments, how much does the K Mitchell miss it towards the end weigh on the result?
The Lobie, the Hartlett, the Gray, the Mitchell. I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head because there's 5, I think, that, but every side, there would have been goals missed by the other side. But you just feel bad about them a bit more at the end of a close loss.
Tackling wise, they are tackling it a fair bit.
Yeah.
Have a bit of bearing on it?
Oh, no doubt, and we're a good tackling team, and numbers would say we're a good tackling team, and, to Essendon's credit, I thought a little bit in close tonight, they were a bit stronger than us at times, and I thought there was a little bit of that last week as well, so it's been a little bit of that over the last month probably, if I'm being really honest, but it's not because we can't do it, it's just the opposition have been a bit better at us, especially in first halves, I reckon.
So what's the challenges there from here?
Learn and get better and improve and make sure we take every opportunity we get. And that's, again, it's not going to be any different. That message is we have to work really hard. The question about how much do we want to keep going and how much we want to keep this, they're a really good group. There's no doubt this is a really good group as far as they mark themselves hard. I don't actually have to. I do, but they don't have to go after them that hard, to be honest, because they're a really honest young group that they want to, and they understand that what they want to try and achieve, and they know that you can't achieve that by doing it for parts of a season, parts of a game, and parts of a week. You've just got to do it all the week.
And there's a lot of focus on you losing Carl and Trento. You've up 62 points, which, as you say, you keep looking at what their position with. So that's not far out of the whack of what.
Nah, defensively we're okay.
How much is that matching up to what you say? It's got to be about the method, not the people you put in the defence.
Yeah, it is. It's all about the method. It's all about I've always said there's a tipping point with injury. There's no doubt about that. But 1 or 2 shouldn't make that big a difference to us. I think, importantly for us, I think in the second half, I reckon we might have given up about 16 points on the scoreboard. I'm not quite sure. I think it was a very small margin, and we were able to kick, 5 goals, 10 or something ourselves at the same time. So, I thought, our second half defensively, we stood up really strongly. But we just didn't make the most of our opportunities going forward. Great credit to Essendon for that, though.
So what do you need to do up front? You have to rethink that, particularly about when you take West off into ruck and there's only Schultz there and Wingard hasn't been able to give you much in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, we definitely have to always be mindful of the fact that we've got to be very very proactive about what it looks like that gets the score that we want, and sometimes names alone don't get it done for you. It's it's the group together. So individually they might not be quite right. I've often said that the group together are getting it done. That's what you want to have happen. So they'll bob up and they'll have good nights, bad nights, and so on. But we just got to keep our eye on that and make sure that we're giving people in the right form the right opportunities.
Does it make you rethink who you put in there, or whether you go for another tall forward again?
Nah, look, we talk about every week whether we should or we shouldn't, and of course obviously with Jackson going out and Westy having to go on the ruck, should we take the opportunity? We just don't think we've got a tall forward in absolutely great form to come in and play well at AFL levels. No good bringing them in and making them sacrifice them a little bit. John Butcher's been in pretty solid form, but he needs to have a really good, strong 2 or 3 games in a row, because I could pick John in a heartbeat and say, well, I know he's going to be a hard match up at times and he's going to mark the ball occasionally. I could pick Mason Shaw probably at times, but he's just not mature enough physically, mentally probably to handle AFL football yet. The trick with those blokes is to get them ready when they come in there a chance to perform at their best.
After wins, you often talk about having an even spread. You didn't really have that today, did you?
I haven't gone through it yet, but I'd say we had a number of players down. There's, without quickly thinking about them on the fly now, I would have thought there was a number of players down. But even spread sometimes looks a bit that way. Just because, Hartlett up, Gray's up, a couple others are down. Chad's been down a little bit here and there, but we don't want to be individual focused at all or based around our team performance. The team plays well. Individuals collectively always seem to play pretty well.
Essendon keep 6 on turnovers.
Yeah, and some of it's a bit to do with our skill, our fundamental skill, our basic handling of the ball. Well, I often think that if you make a slow mistake, you get punished a lot more. That's what I think. And I think we made slow mistakes tonight. I think that's in my view, I think that's one of the key things that happens in football a little bit. If you play turnover football off slow, you'll get hurt a bit more, I think.
Also, it's the conditions or...
A little bit, but a lot to do with Essendon. Essendon were able to, restrict us and hold us up, make us second guess. And if you second guess, that's when you turn into a bit slow.
Did you feel at the start of the game, especially at the first quarter, that you switched on, that you're mentally ready for this? There's a few things that happened that you just seemed as if you just weren't focused. And perhaps a classic example was the end of the first quarter when Essendon had a shot for goal and the ball dribbled through from behind. That could have quite easily been the margin.
Big margin when it's a 2-point game, isn't it? But
Yeah.
look, but I think, from our footy club point of view, when we get here tonight again on Saturday night footy, and we've got 47,000 Port fans there again, just filling the place up for us. They're really behind us, and we really appreciate them doing that. And the boys train really well through the week. They come on the ground, and you sense there's a real atmosphere here that it is the Portress, and we're ready to play. And we've started to lose that title a little bit now. We've lost a couple of games, so we've just got to correct that. I don't think that it's a switch-on thing, though. I think there's momentary lapses, I'd say. There's no doubt about that. And that's what happens to every football club. The very best ones who get to the end, they have very few of those. And those who are still learning their way still make a few at the wrong times.
So what do you do, or what do you expect from the group when externally there will be a lot of questions and a lot of doubt about where Port Adelaide sits, particularly in the race to the flag?
I'll give you the really, really honest answer that I can possibly give you. We're on the journey. We've worked really hard to get where we are. We understand we've got to continuously work hard. We've won the games we've won. It put us in a position on the ladder that other people want out externally. People want to talk about, are we there, are we ready, are we not ready? I'm not going to talk about, are we there, are we ready, are we not ready? I know we've still got a lot of work to do to improve our football club, and that's what we're about. We're going to continually look to improve our football club. Hopefully, and I've said it once before this year, hopefully by the end of the year, if we've done enough good things and it's okay, why can't it be? Why can't it be now? When people outside will now possibly say that Port are not ready just yet. I didn't say Port are or ain't ready. I'm just telling you we're going to work hard and we're going to work towards where we're trying to go. And we know that we've still got a lot of work to do to get there.
Outside of that can also drag you down, so how do you insulate them from that, or do you let it happen anyway and see how mentally strong they are to handle it?
Oh, it's part of it. Again, that's part of the journey. Part of it is you've got to deal with expectations sometimes from outside, but you've got to understand it. But what it can't do is distract you from the chase or the cause. For us, it's what we're trying to do. It's not all the other stuff. I can judge it by training through the week, by preparation on recovery, Monday, how we turn up, what we do, and then see if we're learning from it. It's part and parcel of the game. You win, they say nice things, you lose, you probably get not as nice things said about you. We're probably still in the nice things area a little bit because we've been able to do a lot of good things over the short time.
Are you happy with score review tonight?
Is that a trick question?
No, just a pure, very innocent question. And I'll fill in the gap. They're using 2 SA for a goal to do it.
Have a good night.